Hey guys, this is the second video for Unit 4 and 5 review for the test. This is question 2. We're not going in order, so in the first video we did most of the question. We just have a few to go. Number 2 says, given triangle ABC congruent to triangle PQR, measure of angle B equals 3b plus 4 and measure of angle Q equals AV minus 6. Find measure of angle B and angle Q. So the first thing I would like to do is try to make the figure for my triangle. So if this is my triangle, and this is my other triangle, and it says that this is triangle A, B, C, and this is triangle P, Q, R. I just have to plug in my angles. So let me say that angle B is 3B plus 4, and angle Q is 8V minus 6. Now, if those two triangles are congruent and corresponding parts of corresponding triangles are also congruent, I can say that angle B and angle Q are congruent. So angle B is equal to angle Q. Having said that, I can make an equation. So, equal 3b plus 4 to AV minus 6 and solve for V. Now, 3v plus 4 equals 8v minus 6. And I just have to solve for that equation. Now remember my steps on solving equations. The first step is distribute, but we don't have any parentheses, so we don't have anything to distribute. Then we have to combine like terms, and we have to check if you have any like terms on the same side of my equal sign. And I don't have any like terms on this side, and I don't have any like terms on this side neither. So my next step is move the variable, and it means that I have to move the variable to have all v's in just one side so I can solve for v. Now I can move 8v over to the left side, or I can move 3b over to the right side, and I would like to move 3b because if I move ab, my v is gonna get negative. I don't like that. So let me move 3v over to the other side, and I will do that making the opposite operation. So minus 3v in each side. Now those two will simplify, and I will have 4 equals 8 minus 3 is 5v minus 6. Then my next step in solving equation is add or subtract, and I have to get rid of everything because I'm solving for b. So I will move everything but b. So let me go plus 6 plus 6. Remember, everything that you add or subtract in one side of the equation, you have to do the same with the other side so your equation is balanced. Now 4 plus 6 is 10 equals 5b. You just have to bring this 5b down. Those two just simplify. Now I just have to get rid of this 5. How do I get rid of this 5? Well, every time that you have a number next to a variable, you are multiplying. So you have to do the opposite of multiplying, which is divide. So I will divide by 5 on both sides. And those two will simplify. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So v is equal to 2. Now, am I done with this? No, I have to go back and plug it in because they want me to give them the value for angle B and angle Q. So I have to plug it in any of those two, because since they are congruent, if I just multiply on any of them, I will get the same answer. So let me check. 3v plus 4 is angle B. Angle B equals that. So angle VB equals 3 times my value for B, which is 2, plus 4. Now, angle B equals 3 times 2 is 6, plus 4. So, angle B equals 10. Now, if you just want to double check if you're right, you can find the value for angle Q, and they have to match. They need to have the same value. So let me just, to be sure, let me find angle Q. Angle Q equals 8V minus 6. So angle Q equals 8 times my value for V, which is 2, minus 6. Angle Q equals 8 times 2 is 16 minus 6. And then angle Q finally is equal to 16 minus 6 is 10. And if you can see, they match. They have the same value. So my answer choice for this question is going to be C. Then we have question 4. Question 4 says, can you use the ASA postulate, the AAS theorem, or both to prove the triangles congruent? Now let me check. So here I have that this side is congruent to this one because I see the big marks, and I have that this angle is congruent to this one. Let me just do it in another color. You can notice the difference. So this angle is congruent to this one. So now, do I have any other thing that I have to, by just looking at the picture, say that any of those sides are congruent? Well, no, because I don't have any given that says that I have a midpoint or something that gives me the two sides are congruent. Now, let me check my angles. Can I know that any of my angles there are congruent? Well, yes, we can say that this angle, let me make it in another color, I can say that this angle is congruent to this one because they are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent. So, if I have my blue angles congruent, my pink angles congruent, and the two sides with the green tick mark congruent, I can say that those two triangles are congruent by angle side only. So my answer choice is C. Number three. Number 3 says, what other information do you need in order to prove the triangles congruent using SAS congruence postulate? Now, in SAS, I need two sides and the included angles, so the angle in between those two sides. And here, I know that BC is congruent to CD because I can see those tick marks over there. And I can say that AC is congruent to itself by the reflexive property. So if I already have my two congruent sides, I just need the included angle. It means that I need the angle in between those two congruent sides. So I need this angle to be congruent to this one. And in order to that, let me look at my answer choices. A said that angle BAC is congruent to angle DAC, basically those two angles. And I don't need those two angles to be congruent because I need the green angle, which is my included angle. So it's not A. Now let me see B. B is talking about angle CBA and angle CDA, so those two angles. And I don't need those two angles. Let me make them in another color so you don't get confused. And I don't need those two angles to be congruent because I need the green angle, which is, one more time, my included angle. So B is not the right answer choice. Now, let me see. It says that C says that AC is perpendicular to BD. Okay? this line right here is perpendicular to this one. Maybe I may choose another color, stronger color that you can see better. Okay, this line is perpendicular to this one. So if those two lines are perpendicular, then I have two right angles right here. And if those two are right angles, then every one of them is 90 degrees. And this one is 90 also. So those two angles are congruent. So C is my right answer. This not my right answer neither, because it is talking about two sides to be congruent, AC and BD, and I don't need two sides to be congruent in order to prove for SAS. I just need two sides, which I already have two sides, and one angle. So I was looking for that two angles that were congruent. So my right answer choice is C. That's it. I just went over every single one questioned on the review. So if you have any question, just write your question on your paper and bring it over on Monday so we can discuss your question before the test. Remember, the review is due before the test, and for those of you that haven't given me the packet we did last time, this is due before the test. Have a great weekend. I hope you study and you get 100 on the test. Thank you.